Welcome to Module 203A on Principles of Automatic Heating and Cooling Circuits. Now that we know what a closed-loop control is, we're going to start to look at some of the cooling and heating components that make it work that way. A furnace has a number of different components that you need to be familiar with. When we look at the front of a furnace, we can see a number of things. First of all, we see the main burners, which would include the jets, the gas valve, and the ignition system. And this is how we burn the fuel to heat up the air inside the air exchanger. Below that, we see the fan or the blower. This is how we draw air from the rest of the house and feed the air up through the heat exchange. Load devices are any devices inside my furnace that are consuming power as well. And that would be my blower motor, my intake motor, my gas valves, and all these things respond to feedback from the system controlling devices. The controlling devices are sensing devices that provide feedback. They can include thermostats, humidistats, limit switches, pressure switches, flame sensors, and sail switches. The controlling device indicated here is a pressure switch. When we look at the top view of a furnace, we see two main components. First is a heat exchanger, which is a steel enclosure that separates the combustion system from the circulating air system. So this prevents the combustion gases from being circulated throughout the house. Any hot air from the combustion chamber passes through the heat exchanger and warms up the circulating air. A good heat exchanger will have a large surface area and very conductive material to make for a better heat transfer. We can also see the flue or the stack, which is also called the chimney, and this is how we're going to allow the combustion gases to escape. On the side of our furnace, we'll also have our filters. They are placed on the intake side of the blower. Their job is to remove dust and particles from the air before the air enters the furnace. This is the one maintenance item that we need to make sure that we are maintaining properly. Replace it every 3 months because if we reduce the airflow to the furnace, it will not only reduce our efficiency, but it could also cause premature degrading of our furnace components. Another part of our heating system, although it's not part of our furnace, is our plenums. And we have two different plenums in most heating systems. The first one is the supply plenum, which holds all of our conditioned air, whether it's our cool air from our air conditioner or our hot air from our furnace. And this supplies all the individual rooms. A big part of the job of a supply plenum is to equalize the air pressure for all the ducts by holding a large volume of air. We also have the return plenum. As hot or cold air is fed into the rooms, it displaces air that we don't want, so either cold air when we're heating or warm air when we're cooling, and returns this displaced air back down to the furnace. Coming from all the plenums are our ducts, which are large metal pipes used to transfer the air to the individual areas of the building. And they come out of the building in what we call registers or outlets. Within the furnace, we also have 3 different forms of electrical power, and these are for system operation. First, we have the 120 volt per amp circuit from the panel for the blower operation. We also have a 24 volt class 2 transformer inside the furnace for the low voltage controls and also for most of the load devices. The third thing is we have a thermocouple to provide power for safety circuits, such as the pilot light. In order to control the different components inside a furnace, we need to employ control devices. There are 3 primary devices that we're going to discuss. The first one is the thermostat, whose job it is to maintain the comfort level inside the rooms. It is a temperature actuated sensor based on either bimetal strips or electronic devices. The next device is called the high limit switch. It is a safety device that detects unsafe temperatures inside the furnace assembly, and it will shut down the gas valve if any unsafe conditions do occur. The third control device is called the fan control switch. It operates the furnace blower to move the warm air around. It allows the air inside the plenum to warm up before it starts up the fan, and it shuts off the fan when the plenum has cooled to a safe level. It also includes a manual override that allows the fan to be run longer, which is good for temperature balancing inside the house. For example, we can take the cooler air from our basement and mix it with the warmer air inside the upper floors, and that will reduce our cooling costs inside the summer. You have now reached the end of this objective. Review your module, complete the knowledge check, and then continue on to the next video.